Hello and welcome. My name is Gene, and today we're going to move ourselves through a bit of a seated flow with some leg extensions and twisting, and then find our way down to the mat for a couple of longer held shapes. So, we'll start off facing what you have oriented to be the top of your mat in a seat, allowing that seat to take any shape, any form that your body wishes. As long as the sit bones are pressed on the mat, that's where your spine has a place to lengthen up to the sun or the moon if this is a nighttime practice for you. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through the nose, sighing or yawning through the mouth. Just thinking of releasing any of that stiffness, that stickiness in the body. Might try to keep you locked in a certain place, a certain state of being. The world around you moves and passes at its own meter. You are attuning to the rhythm of your own breath, your own heartbeat, your own planted place on your mat. If you have an idea, a thought, something that you would like to focus on for your practice today, it could be a nice time to let that idea live in your mind. Embed itself within the caverns of your heart center as you breathe. This practice will lean into elements of gentleness, tenderness, and simply being present to whatever your body is experiencing at a given moment. In truth, it's an intention that is returned to frequently. But maybe today feels a little bit different than the last time you offered that for yourself. When was the last time you were tender with your own body? When there was intentionality behind your movement, when there was a purpose to how you focused in a place. For now though, if that feels good for you today, bring it with you. If not, you can cast it aside, offer any thought that you want to reside with for a little while. One more breath here for you. So, when that moment feels good, take a breath in, shifting back on the sit bones so that the legs can uncurl if you crossed them. And then exhale, extend the legs toward the top of your mat. We'll be living in this Dandasana staff pose for a few moments. So, think about lengthening through the backs of your legs, backs of your calves, down to the ankles. Feet are flexed up to the sky. Always welcome to bend the knees, or even take your blanket, roll the blanket up, place it under the knees, just to be in the shape for a little more time. When you've found that point of anchoring, breathe in, crown of the head lifts up to the sun or moon once more, and then exhale, shoulders soften, becoming more mindful of your elongated spine. Another breath in here again. And then breathing out. Good. One more mindful breath here. And then starting to add some movement, take a breath in as you point your feet, reaching through your toes to the top of your mat. And then exhale, flex the feet, just pointing the toes to the ceiling. Inhale to point, and exhale to flex. Take another 4 or 5 breaths of that foot-focused movement for you. And all the while, still keeping that lift in your abdomen, so if you feel like you're sinking back a little bit, it's really rooting into the sit bones. It's just as much about keeping your core engaged, that's where your fire will start to build, as it is reaching with the feet when you inhale forward, and then pulling them back when you exhale. A couple more breaths here. Nice work. Taking a breath in, hands are going to come to the sides of your legs, palms on the ground. And then exhale, just sliding, scooting your body forward into a very brief fold, caterpillar pose. Think about relaxing through that shoulder girdle space, so that you really feel your back reaching forward alongside your chest. Ribs are soft, neck relaxed as you breathe. Halfway point of your time, as you found a place to sustain for a moment or two, where can you soften into this pose? Spine may not feel quite so warm as we haven't flossed it yet. So it doesn't mean that the body needs to go all the way forward if it doesn't want to. Where does it want to go in this given moment? Great work. Last 2 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Sinking forward just a little bit more. 1 more breath. And then breathing in. Using your hands to scoot the spine back to that upright center. And then exhale, just shaking the chest out a little bit. Drink some water if you need. Even a couple of shoulder circles and neck circles can feel good too. And then as that movement has served you, take another intermittent period of time in your staff pose, Dandasana. As shared in a prior practice, Dandasana is one of those bedrock postures. Number of flows will tend to start as you are in this extended position. But giving yourself just enough time to reside in that space so that you really feel how the body anchors into the sit bones. Chest is lifted again, breathing in and breathing out. Nice work. Another 2 more breaths, keeping that lift a little while longer. Good job. If you have that blanket underneath your knees, inhale, the blanket comes out just so that the legs go long. And then exhale, shifting back to bend the knees, soles of the feet pressed together, opening the knees to the sides. Butterfly pose, little counter posture here. Great place again to tip side to side a little bit, anchoring down in your sit bones. Collecting your thoughts, collecting the sensations moving through the legs. It was a good chunk of time with the legs out nice and long, so heed what they're telling you. Take another breath here. So building up with a little bit of twisting. Inhale. The arms are now going to sweep themselves up to meet together. And then on the exhale, twisting from your rib cage to the right side of your space. If you go to the left, that's totally fine. But thinking about your left hand making contact with your right leg. Right hand is set behind you to that right hip. Breathe. Moment or two of silence passes as you find the surface level impression of this twist. Now you can fine tune it by slowly dropping that left shoulder away from the ear. By looking a little further over the right shoulder if the twist feels good. Again, acknowledging that places in the body may not necessarily feel warmed up so that they can reach what your brain considers its full motion. In the practice of gentleness, the body learns a perspective of acceptance, allowing you to exist today in this moment without needing to overexert. This is where you reside for 3 more breaths. Good work. Breathing in, look back, reach back just a little bit further with the neck. And then exhale, undo the twist so that the arms come back up to the sky. Inhale, pressing your feet in close together so that your butterfly is still intact. And then exhale, twisting from your ribs to the left now, butterfly twist. That right hand has contact with your left leg. Left hand reaches back behind you, fingertips kickstanding on the ground behind your left hip. Total of 10 breaths here. Doing great. Observe what your mind is telling you. Maybe the knees begin fanning out a little wider. The sacrum is what's facing the center of your room, the top of your mat. While your upper body is what's making that twist. Another 5 breaths. Nice job. Breathe in, looking back, reaching back with the neck, the gaze a little further. And then exhale, undo the twist so that the arms reach back up to the sky. On the breath in, the hands come down just so that you press the knees in. And then drink some water before coming down to your mat. So with the legs nice and warm, just gonna do a little bit more of that extension element. Keeping your hands on the ground, just gonna slide forward a bit. so that your spine rests on the earth as you inhale, and then lifting your legs, flexing them toward the space in front of you. Exhale, half boat pose, lifting through your abdomen again as you breathe. Even if the legs only want to go to a hover, that is a great half boat. We'll take another 5 more breaths here. That's where you're feeling that lengthening through your legs, where you're feeling that engagement in your core. 3 to go. Great work. Breathing in, bend the knees, soles of the feet find the mat. And then breathing out, heel toe your feet away from each other. Knees are drawn in, knock knee. From here, just giving yourself a low back release. Tip the legs side to side. After that half boat pose, the back might get some really nice relief as you engaged with your sacrum and with your core to help keep that lift in the legs. Alrighty, when that hip release feels good, you're just gonna heel toe the feet back in toward each other. And then, taking another breath in, left leg is gonna go long, so that on your exhale, you're stepping that right foot over the left leg, just to open the knee to the side. You can stay in this figure 4 shape if that feels good, or you can walk that left foot so that you've got the heel of the left foot close to your left sit bone for that inverted pigeon, that reclined shape. Now this is where you'll reside for a few moments. Another way of getting some release in your back. Nice little spark of heat that your body can utilize, that half boat pose. Usually you think of going into Navasana, that boat pose with your spine lifted, but even the half boat can be a great way to build up your body and really come into that heat in your core. Another minute to go. If you want a little more heat for this second minute of your time, you can always lift that left foot off the ground, shoulders reaching down to the mat, and then extending your left leg up to the sky for an eye of the needle. If the shoulders need to come up at any point to make this posture accessible, give yourself that grace. But either way, you've just got another 4 more breaths wherever you're residing. Come back to your focus today. Maybe this heat is a way of being gentle to yourself after taking stagnant shapes. Fire can be cooling in its own way. Fire can be soft, just like the other elements have that capability. And then if you have that left leg lifted, you're just going to inhale, use your core strength that we've been utilizing a bit, just to drop the leg down to the mat. Same thing if you took reclined pigeon or inverted pigeon without the leg lifted. Extend that left leg forward so that your right leg can reach out to meet the left. Shake them out a bit, rebound the body. Good job. So taking that same posture to the other side. Right leg will stay lengthened as you breathe in. And then breathing out, left knee bends, sole of the foot on the mat. Just to step that foot over the right leg, open the knee to the side, and then either stay in figure 4 or walk your right heel towards the sit bone for your pigeon. Now again, you are welcome to stay like this for the first minute, just so that your body becomes accustomed to the hip opening that you're creating. Breathing nice and soft here. Notice your heartbeat. Now another thing worth considering, you can even think of resting consciously that left ankle against your right thigh, as the surface there will help you keep an open left hip. It's one of those subtler cues that sometimes expressed, sometimes understood. Another minute. Option for your eye of the needle. Just lift that right leg off the mat. Extend the leg up to the sky. Another minute wherever you want. Now, eye of the needle can be really nice if you find yourself seated a lot in your day, especially getting that really nice long stretch through the right leg. Toes can point to the ceiling for that little extra spark, but you've got another 4 more breaths wherever you're at. Nice job. So taking your next inhale, if you took eye of the needle, with that same core strength from half boat, you're just going to start guiding your legs down in that shape. If you're in that inverted pigeon, extend the right leg to the mat. And when you feel that right leg on the ground, left leg reaches out to meet the right. Take one more rebound here as you've just about arrived at the end of your journey today. Just breathing here. Notice what the hips are telling you, what your legs are telling you. A little bit more leg focus today with the extensions and that opening. But also heeding the message of your core, your powerhouse. All of those messages will help you as you really anchor into a place of ceiling comfort. You might hear my voice alter a bit as I'm sitting up, but you can stay exactly as you are on your spine, because this is a good place to offer a Savasana today, remembering your breath, honoring your heartbeat. Even these gentle movements can have some fire capable, where you can build the heat how you need to. Leave behind any tension you might have felt. And as always, thank yourselves as much as I thank you for all that you do on and off of your mats. And with that, enjoy your Savasana. I'll bring you back to the here and now shortly. Starting to bring some awareness back to yourself as the time has come to guide your body back to the here and now. It all starts with taking that same conscious breath in through your nose, accepting the air that you choose to bring inward, letting it live in your being for a moment longer than you normally would. And then breathing out through the nose, sighing or yawning through the mouth. As the emptiness that follows your exhale gives way to the next breath in and the fullness that will follow. Controlled, gentle, and eased. That same mindset then draws itself to your fingertips and toes, wiggling them softly. Then with the wrists and ankles, as you circle them gently, and then adding any other final bits of movement for yourself that honor and strengthen your tether to this corporeal plane. When you feel like you have made a sufficient return to your mat, you are welcome to end this gentle practice on your spine in that conjured savasana, just as you're welcome to convene in a seat of your choosing, deciding how you want to end your practice and taking your time to move the body to a ceiling shape that serves you. You'll know its placing by how your arms, legs, your eyes, your whole self are resonant to that last point. And then coming back to your intention today, a little bit of movement, a little bit of twisting and extending in the body. Your legs could be considered what you featured today, but it's just as much about finding gentle sparks of heat in the body, especially as we are now moving into the spring season. It can be beneficial for yourself to make small sparks of ember before the flames can grow. After all, every fire begins with the softest of sparks and then gives way to whatever the rest of the heat brings. And with that, it's been my humble, happy honor to have shared this space with you today as you've shared it with me. May you take with you this practice of gentleness out into this big, wide world that we share, bringing the same shine and radiance to others that your mat has bolstered for you today. The luminosity in me cherishes, respects, and will always celebrate the luminous, blooming heart in each of you. Shanti. Namaste. I thank you again for making some time for yourself. At whatever point in your day this practice may have found you, I hope that you got a good little bit of stretching through the legs. Again, especially if you find yourself in some seated shapes a lot or very sedentary positions, just extending the legs for a while can be a nice way to move some blood through the system, or at least become aware of any places in the body that you need to be a little extra tender with. So those final words shared until we meet each other again on our mats. Namaste.